Kia ora, Lara here, and I am sharing with you my process video for Scraptember Day 7, which is all about something you hoard. Now, this could have been a photo of something I hoard. It's actually a photo of something I've had for a long time, but the item that I hoard, I've decided to use a scrapbooking product, which is my alpha stamps. So you'll see soon I'm going to bring in a pile of alpha stamps that I'm going to work on to use the title, to create the title of my layout. So the photo that I am documenting is my tramping pack. Now, I have had this tramping pack since I was 14, and so that makes it quite old. That means that I've had it for 32 years, and I think that's about right, and it seems to have been, it's a pack that's lasted really well. So about 7 years ago we replaced the harness on it, got back into tramping and stuff again, and it sort of had disintegrated a little bit over time and lack of use probably, but after replacing that it's been great again ever since. So all of the other compartments, the zip stuff, everything's been fabulous, but it's just one of those things, like, you don't often have stuff that you're still using that many decades later. These days stuff is often used and then it's gone, but my tramping pack's definitely something that stood the test of time, and I love that I still use it. So I just had to take a photo of the top of it. It's still got my maiden name and a phone number that I had in my childhood, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just one of those time and place when I suddenly realized how long I'd had this pack for, and still using it. So that's, yeah, just the way it is. Anyway, I decided to use sort of some layers of paper along this left hand side of the layout, as to make the background a little bit more interesting than just a piece of white cardstock and a photo with some backing on it, which I've done on other pages. So this is my photo, and I'm just deciding here whether I need something to help it stand out a little bit or how that's going to work, and I do choose to put it onto some white daisy cardstock. So I'm just going to mount that on there and then cut around the edge of it, so trimming that out and leaving a little bit of a border all the way around. And I will put this onto a piece of coloured patterned paper, so just using this cute floral here, trying to make the best of the paper, but it's not going to work, so I will just take that from wherever, and then I have to try and find the scissors that I left lying around again, and these bigger ones are slightly better. So just a little bit of a hint of the colour around there. And I'm just going to place the photo down, and then I'm going to work out what alpha stamps I want to use. So you can see here that I've got a few of them. I've got a bundle, and I'm just going through and working out which ones I'm going to use for the different words as part of the title of this layout. So alpha stamps, things I hoard, is the theme, and alpha stamps, they help tell the personality of the layout or something, and having the right alpha really helps to finish off your page or to set your page up, actually. So these I've got playful ones, I've got more graphic ones, I've got sort of old-fashioned ones, I've got more modern fonts, and another essential here is the mat that I've just flicked over. It's got one side, the Versamat's got a nice cutting side and sticking side, working surface, wipeable, and then this other side here is a foam side. So while the Close to My Heart stamps do come with the foam sheet insert, this mat also, if you're doing bigger surfaces like I am doing for this one here, and I'm mixing up the stamps and things, just creates a really nice impression when you're stamping with it because of the foam in the background. So I've sort of titled this Not My First Tramp. So there's going to be 4 different fonts, and so a word for each of the different fonts. A lot of these fonts are ones that are no longer available, which I think is why I hoard them, because I want the correct font to be usable whenever I go to create something. So they're not something that I will sell on or anything like that, because I do tend to go back to them or use them, whether it be for sentiments on cards or for titles on layouts like I'm doing here. So just going back to that font that I'd used in the title of my previous layout, just because it seemed to fit with the sort of the modern upbeat feel of the page that I was working on. So no, I didn't actually, I tell a lie. So this is a bold brush. I think this was one of last year's ones. It's kind of cool in that it's not a full shape. It's got a little bit of distressing almost in the image. You can kind of see that it looks like it's been brushed with a paintbrush, but it's still fairly solid as a alpha, and it was probably my favourite one from the last collection. So I am now going to stick down the photograph, and I'm just going to use a little bit of foam tape to lift that up, just because of the surface underneath there where I'd done those layers and wrinkled up the edges. They just needed the foam tape just to make sure the photo was going to sit level across the whole thing. And then wrinkling up the edges around the photo and adding in some journaling basically about the pack and the amount of time I've had it and how well it has lasted over time. So I'm going to now pull out some of the stickers that come from the Close to My Heart Flower Shop collection, and I'm going to put a few of these at different points around the page. So got some of these florals that I've pulled out from it and tucking them in, and I'm also going to use some of the acrylic shapes as well at different points on the page. So I'm going to pull out the circles from the orange and yellow papers and just sticking them down at a few points of interest to add to it. Hey, remember to check out the playlist for the other people who are participating in the Scraptember prompts and ideas. I hope you enjoy these sort of still shots of this layout, and if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.